Okay, so let's start with the beginning. The Aruch Hashulchan starts with a pasuk that comes from Yoshua Chaf Beis, Kel lekim Hashem hu yedea v'Yisrael hu yeda. So just the context of this pasuk is actually, we know in Sefer Bamidbar, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made Moshe made a deal with 2.5 Shvatim that they wanted to stay outside Eretz, they wanted to settle outside Eretz Yisrael. So Moshe said that if you come and join and fight alongside your brothers, the rest of the Shvatim, and conquer the inhabitants of Eretz Canaan, you will be able to get the land outside Eretz Yisrael. And then Yoshua, and Sefer Yoshua, now we know that the 2.5 Shvatim, they did join their brothers in fighting, and now in this parak, Yoshua Chaf Beis, Yoshua tells them you can go and settle down in your lands outside Eretz Yisrael. And there was a little bit of a problem because the majority of the Shvatim saw that the 2.5 Shvatim outside Eretz Yisrael were building a Mizbeach, and they knew that there's a halach, you're not allowed to build a Mizbeach once there's a Mishkan outside the Beis HaMikdash. So they were very upset. They wanted to have a war against the 2.5 Shvatim living outside Eretz Yisrael. Anyway, they sent Pinchas to go warn the 2.5 Shvatim. When Pinchas went, he realized that the 2.5 Shvatim did not want to do something wrong. All they were doing by making a Mizbeach was basically making a symbol. They were symbolizing that they too are part of Klal Yisrael. They too keep the mitzvahs and serve Hashem, and that's all they were trying to show. So this is part of the speech that the 2.5 Shvatim made. Kel lekim Hashem. Hashem is the God. Hashem knows who Yedeh. He knows that whatever is in somebody's mind, He knew what was in our heads, that we really meant to do the right thing. Yisrael hu yeda, and He lets Yisrael know. He lets the Jewish people know. And they were saying a few things in this pasuk, but this is part of the idea. They were trying to say that we are part of you. We believe in the same thing. We're all one, and that's the pasuk that the Aruch Hashulchan chooses to begin the Sefer with. And he begins. Ki Torasenu hakdosha v'Torah, our Torah that's holy and tahor, Aruch me'eretz midu u'rochav minayam. It's as long as the land and it's as wide as the sea. Gavoya mal gavoya, it's the highest of high. Amuk miyimsena, it's deep and deep. Who could find it? Torah, it encompasses everything. Ve'ichloi, and how is it not? V'arehi basalikim chayim, it comes from Hashem who's alive. The etzem hachachma al-yoina, and it is from the highest chachmas. V'sham chevyon uza, and this is a pasuk I believe from Chavakuk that talks about Hashem's strength is hidden. In other words, it's the greatest of great, and it's something we can't even begin to understand or think that we found. V'hu yisbarach shemay v'chachmas echaru hein, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu and His chachma is one and the same. And just like there's no before Him and there is none after Him, there's also no before and after to His chachma. And that's what the pasuk says. Na'im zmiros Yisrael, beautiful are the songs of Yisrael. Rachavim mitzvaysecha me'oid. Your mitzvahs are very wide. Kalemer beli gvul. There is no boundaries to the Torah. And that's what it says. Reveal my eyes, Hashem, and let me see the wonders in your Torah. Because again, there's so much in Torah. Also, Torah is the makor for any other chachma in the world. The chachmas of sciences and mathematics, all chachmas stem from Torah. And that's the remez of the 6 branches of the menorah in the Beis HaMikdash. According to at least one day, one of the majority days, we know that the 6 kanim, the 6 branches, the flames turn towards the middle nair. Like the Chachamim explain this in their Svarim. The point being that all chachmas point towards chachmas HaTorah, the chachma from Torah. Ve'eker gedulas HaTorah, the main greatness of Torah, noidas, is known me'aTorah Sheba'al Peh, comes from Torah Sheba'al Peh. Amru Chazal, like Chazal say, like Koras HaKadosh Baruch Hu brisim Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't make a bris with Klal Yisrael, Ella b'shvil dvarim shval peh, only because of the dvarim shval peh, the things that Hashem gave along with the Torah Shebachsav. Shneimar, as it says, Ki al pi advarim ha'ela karati etcha bris Yisrael. Because of these words, the oral Torah, that's why Hashem made a bris with Klal Yisrael. V'zeu Talmud that refers to the Talmud HaGadol VaHaKadosh. This refers to the Talmud that's great and holy, Talmud Bavli, Talmud Yerushalmi, HaMolei VaHaGadosh, which is big and packed, Mikol Hoin Yakar Paninim, which has great wonders and beauty in it, V'avnei Chefetz Mulafes Sapirim, and precious stones that are sapphire, Sharinayim Loi, that are great for the eyes to see, Veloy Yire Margolius, and in it you will find pearls, tmunis that are hidden in every topic under the sun. Anything you learn in Torah you're going to find has beauty in it. The Torah Shebal Peh and Torah Shebal Peh no senes ruach chaim b'Torah Shebal Sav. The Torah Shebal Peh is what gives life to the words of Torah Shebal Sav. Ukeshem shehan neshama no senes ruach chaim b'gufo. And just like the soul gives man life, so the Torah Shebal Peh gives life to Torah Shebal Sav. Because Torah Shebal Sav by itself is sasum v'chasum. You can't understand it. It's not understandable. You can't even understand one mitzvah from just looking at Torah Shebal Sav. Like Shabbos, it says by Shabbos, you shouldn't do any malacha. Mahu gedera malacha. What does a malacha mean? V'lama parta atarish b'parshas Vayakal. Why does the Torah say in Parshas Vayakal specifically melecha savara? Why does it say the malacha of burning b'fnei atzma by itself? The malacha of lighting a fire. Kamashkas le'savaro ish b'chomesh v'zechem. Don't light a fire in your houses b'yam Shabbos on Shabbos. So why does it only say that? Ad, until what happened from this lashon, from this pasuk, it misled people. Ad shemekvar toba at stukim, that stukim made a mistake. V'yashru b'choshech b'lei Shabbos. They sat in the dark on Friday night. Why? Why did they do that? Ki holchu b'choshech b'lei noga aleim or Torah. Because they sat in darkness and they didn't let the light of Torah Shebal Peh enlighten them. Torah Shebal Peh would tell us that it doesn't mean you have to sit in the dark on Shabbos. It means you can't light a fire. But Parshas Kisisa leizhira rakal charisha v'katzira. The Torah in Parshas Kisisa by Shemitah says you can't harvest and you can't plow. You got to rest from plowing and harvesting. The mashma, which sounds like shezriya v'netiya, planting vegetables or planting trees, v'nichush and weeding, mutter. It sounds like those things would be mutter on your field. You'll be allowed to do it, but we know you can't. V'ikir inyan shvisa nelam. And the whole idea of resting even on Shabbos is we don't understand. The Lefi Pashtusa, according to the simple meaning, ein limol lamo klal b'Shabbos. You shouldn't do any work on Shabbos. You shouldn't do anything that anything that requires energy. And if you wanted to move a table from one room to another room, asur, it should be asur. Atma, that's a wonder. If you just learn Torah Shebal Sav, you're not going to understand what it really means. We find in Nehemiah, when the Jewish people bought fish on Shabbos from salesmen, and they bought other things for Shabbos. Nehemiah got upset at them, and he said, what bad thing are you doing? You're being Mechal Shabbos. Hare, we see the likner is davar havi chilul Shabbos. We see that purchasing something is chilul Shabbos. Where do you ever see anywhere in the Torah where it says you're not allowed to buy something? Ella, it must be you need Torah Shebal Peh. V'yirma anavi amar, and also Yirmiyah says, don't take out a package from your houses. B'yam Shabbos on Shabbos. V'chol malacha leisasu, don't do any malacha. Hare, you see, I'm taking out from a package from private domain to public domain. It's also a malacha. Where does it say this in the Torah? Parshas B'Shalach and B'Shalach in this week's parsha it says, don't leave your place on Shabbos. V'lefi pashtusa, according to the simple meaning of Torah Shebachsav, mashma, it would sound like she'asur lozes memkami, that you can't leave your place b'yom Shabbos on Shabbos. Ukvar yeshato lemarkin, there were actually people who made this mistake and thought you can't leave your house on Shabbos. But we know these things are not true. And how do we know that? We know that because we accept the fact that there's a Torah Shebal Peh. There was an oral tradition given along with when we received the Torah on Sinai, on Har Sinai. So in this paragraph, the Hashulchan is saying that Torah Shebal Peh, which is an introduction to everything he's going to write, because everything the Hashulchan is going to be writing is based on the Rishonim and the Achronim and those who explain Torah Shebachsav. And because of that, it's important to note what he's saying, that everything, without Torah Shebal Peh, we wouldn't know anything. And therefore, Torah Shebal Peh is a must. It's a must in order for us to understand anything. It must be that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us an oral Torah along with his written Torah.